This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Well, here we are, folks. The beginning of a new year and a new decade. And with it comes a bunch of new cartoons and animated movies. We got SpongeBob. We got Scooby-Doo. We got whatever that is. Some kind of furry donut. So I'm gonna go down this list and give you all my first impressions of the different movies and cartoons that are coming out this year. Again, I'm sure that I missed some things, so if I did, just post in the comments. Also, this video is going to be super casual, so this is primarily broad strokes and just my initial thoughts. Let's start off with the movies. Onward from Pixar. It's coming out in March of this year, and it's directed by Dan Scanlon, who did Monsters University, which I actually liked that film. I thought it was very good. When I first saw it, I thought, but it's been growing on me. I saw the trailer for Onward, and I liked it. I know that some folks don't really care for it. They think it's uninspired, generic, nothing really too special, but I'm digging it. I like this fantasy setting. I like the idea of a fantasy world that was modernized, a la Will Smith with Bright. So I want to see this film. I think it'll be fun. And also, it's cool to see Ronald the Barbarian get a sequel. Oh, I can't say that word. I might get copyright striked. Next, we have Soul, another film from Pixar. It's gonna be released on June 19th, and it's directed by Pete Docter, who is the guy who did Inside Out. Oh God, what else did you do, Pete? Oh, I know you've done some other amazing films. That's why you're one of the head people of Pixar, along with Jennifer Lee. But Soul here, its trailer is on YouTube, seems to be about this fella who wants to live his best life. His life then ends as he dies, and now he's this goopy little soul. I assume that's what the movie is called, so that's probably what he is. And I predict that this movie will be him looking back on his life and possibly moments where he screwed up, where he missed opportunities, the good parts about his existence, the bad parts, kind of a retrospect. Again, Pete Docter did Inside Out. Just looking at this trailer, I already get Inside Out vibes. So, you know, which shouldn't be too shocking. Overall, I look forward to this film. Again, I like Pixar. I know that they made some uninspired things last decade, Cars 2, but Soul and Onward look good. It's cool that we're getting two original films from them in the same year. I look forward to it. But what about Disney Animation? What are they cooking up? Funny enough, they got two original films as well. First, we have Raya and the Last Dragon, which is aiming for a November 25th release date, but I think that remains to be seen. We don't have much to go off of, except for like this one bit of concept art, which I like. Looks like we're getting another fantasy film, which again, I enjoy those. And this one seems to be based on Eastern Asian lore, not Eastern Asian, Asian lore, China, it looks like. I mean, the movie is called Raya and the Last Dragon, so I imagine it's gonna be like Chinese dragons. I read this one little excerpt. It says, it's a fantasy epic adventure with themes inspired from the mythical lands of Southeast Asia. So yeah, there you go. After that, we've got The One and Only Ivan, which is to be released on August 14th. Again, I don't know much about this one. We don't even have a trailer. I don't think we even have any official concept art. All I know is that it's based on a book. It's something about a gorilla and its friends and some kind of mall, and how they end up taking care of this abused baby elephant and raising it. So that's all I really know. I'm gonna have to wait and see what else comes out about this film. I don't even know if it's actually gonna come out this year. It seems odd that it's slated for this year to be released, but we don't have anything concrete really to stand on. What about Illumination? What are they doing this year? Oh, Minions 2. Okay. How about Nickelodeon and Paramount? What are you all working on? Well, we got that SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, which looks good. There's a trailer for it. It's computer animation, which is different compared to the other two movies from SpongeBob. Well, one of them. The first SpongeBob movie was full-on 2D animation. The second one was a mix where it was 2D and computer animation with the 3D characters on the beach. This one seems to be full-on 3D, which when I first heard that news, I was kind of like, oh, really? But after seeing the trailer, I dig it. It looks different, but in a good stylized way. I like the colors, I like the visuals. I don't know what the story is really going to be. Well, it sounds like it's going to be SpongeBob trying to find Gary, as far as I know. All I know is that I'm surprised that I'm excited about this. I thought after this last SpongeBob movie, they'll start hitting that creatively bankrupt with these SpongeBob films, but okay, I want to see this. Looking forward to it. Speaking of Paramount, they've got the Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out on Valentine's Day. Yeah, gotta take your date to go see the Sonic movie, right? Gonna lean over to your girl and go, meow, right in your ear. So this film was supposed to be released in 2019. It was delayed to 2020 for reasons. For those who don't know, the film was delayed because the trailer was just so horrendous, had such massive backlash that the folks who run the movie, Paramount, they pulled the film. They said, never mind. Let's do an entire new design. Let's update Sonic to where he's not this uncanny valley monster from hell. Let's actually make him look stylized like the actual Sonic the Hedgehog, which they accomplished. That being said, again, well done to the animators who fixed that stuff. I'm sure that you all wanted this to begin with. That being said, though, I'm sure the story is still gonna suck. It's not gonna be good. So I think this film won't be incredible. It'll just be meh, possibly worse than meh. Next, we have Scoob from Warner Brothers. Slated for a May 15th release, this is a film about Scooby-Doo, which I'm just so glad that this is being stylized and it's fully animated. I thought we would get another Scooby-Doo movie, which, these live action, quote unquote, Scooby-Doo movies aren't bad, but like, it's good to get a full animated movie. Everybody is being done through computer animation. I'm cool with that. And they look good. Like, I like these stylized designs of Velma and Fred, Daphne, Scooby, Shaggy. The voice acting, I'm not really sure about because Velma and Daphne sound so lethargic. Shaggy's fine, not as good as the original voice actor who, ironically, is doing Scooby, but not doing Shaggy. Go figure. Gotta get your big celebrity voice actors to push you on the Instagrams. That all being said, I read the premise for this film. It looks like it's going to be like a cinematic universe for Hanna-Barbera. Again, I'm surprised. I'm looking forward to this one. There are films coming out this year that I thought, don't really care, but I actually do. I want to see the SpongeBob one. I want to see Scoob here, but I do not really care about this next one because I have very little faith in it. It is the Tom and Jerry movie by Warner Brothers. So yeah, Tom and Jerry. I know I rag on Scooby-Doo for having a rough history, not rough, but having a strange history with its movies. Tom and Jerry, though, not even worse, much, much worse. I mean, Tom and Jerry go to the Wizard of Oz. Tom and Jerry and Willy Wonka? What the hell is that? Now we have our own film just called The Tom and Jerry Movie. It's supposed to come out in December of this year. I don't know if it's like Scooby-Doo, if it's like Peanuts and it's stylized. I keep saying stylized. As you can see, that's very important to me. If it's stylized like the old Tom and Jerry cartoons, but with a nice fresh coat of paint, like Peanuts then I might be interested. Here's the problem though. How do you make a Tom and Jerry movie? Like, Tom and Jerry is just these little shorts, or are these little shorts of Tom and Jerry getting into fights and hitting each other, and that's really it. To make a full movie with these characters is difficult because they were never for long form content. It was very short form slapstick humor. So this is like a film I'm skeptical about. I don't know how they're gonna pull this one off. I guess we'll see. Then we have the Funko Pop movie from Warner Brothers, which Okay, I can't find any actual confirmation from Warner. There's an article that somebody made talking about this film, saying that Warner's interested. We don't know if it's truly like verified, but with things like Ugly Dolls, I don't know, who can say? I guess all of these different toys are getting their own movies now, because if the Lego movie can do it, then so can we, right? I mean, what's a movie? You just gotta put some toys on there and promote your stuff. Children, buy my toys. But Saberspark merch is for sale if you are interested. Check it out in the bar below. It's in the description. But yeah, Funko Pop movie. This might be the worst thing ever if it actually happens. I kind of hope it does. Speaking of toys, we've got Trolls World Tour from DreamWorks. I am excited about this movie, legitimately. The first Trolls movie I thought was meh. It wasn't great story-wise. I like the character designs of the trolls, the world they live in, the aesthetic and the texture. It's kind of like a felt, kind of like these, I can't even really describe it. You can like, it reminds me of like that Yoshi game where you can reach out and just feel the character's skin, not in a creepy way, but like you're touching a doll with like felt fur or something. I'm not good talking about like sewing stuff, like a ball of yarn almost. And I like that part of the Trolls movie. But again, the story for the original movie, I was like, whatever, just seems kind of forgettable. That being said, this sequel seems like it's saying, okay, we got our start, let's go crazy. And now it's about these different like clans of trolls in this universe and how they all represent different types of music. The country trolls, the techno trolls, the rock and roll trolls. That's a cool premise. I like that they're doing that, because Trolls itself is a musical, so why not just focus 100% on the music element of the film? Make that your focal point. I think it's gonna be good. It's like if they're different avatar nations of water, earth, fire, and air, but instead of elements, it's different types of music. So I want to see this film. I feel like I'm the only one, but whatever. Gonna check it out. I'm pretty sure it comes out in April. Also from DreamWorks this year is Croods 2. So yeah, Croods, that's that caveman movie that DreamWorks made back in the day. It did okay. It's got like Nicolas Cage is in it. You got Ryan Reynolds. You got other human beings who participated in this film whose names I can't recall right now. But it was like, here's a bunch of cavemen living in, it kind of reminds me of, oh gosh, The Good Dinosaur a bit, where it's like this setting that's like based on like prehistory stuff with dinosaurs and you know, ancient mammals, but it's not like straight up accurate. I say The Good Dinosaur, that's a poor example. It can stand on its own 2 feet. You got like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers, but it's the film's own unique twist on it, kind of like these fantasy prehistoric animals. I like that part. I'm a big sucker for animals. I like seeing fantasy animals. I like seeing animals in general. To see this film take its own unique spin on like, check it out, it's an owlbear saber-toothed tiger. That's cool. I like that. And not just because the name Saber is being used. I'm not that biased. The original Croods itself, the story and the characters though, it was okay. It's just a story about opening your mind, of letting new things in, of not fearing things you don't understand, and Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. I know that Croods 2 has been rumored for release for like the last 3 years. Never happened. That might be the case again this year, but it seems like there's a lot more buzz about it this time around, so it might come out after all. We'll have to wait and see. I keep saying that. We'll have to wait and see. That just is how it is when it comes to trailers and their rumored release and films in general, where it's like, is there gonna be a Funko Pop movie? Lord willing, no. All right, so what about Sony Animation? These gods of the industry that brought to us Spider-Verse, the greatest animated movie created by humanity. So there's something called Mitchell's versus the Machines, which is slated for a September release. It's an original animated comedy from Lord and Miller, the guys who directed Spider-Verse. So right now, I'm hooked. I'm good. Like, you don't have to tell me anything else. These guys did Spider-Verse. These guys did the Lego movie. These guys, in my eyes, can do no wrong. When Lord and Miller are put in charge of projects, they make gold. So yeah, I'm sold. You don't have to tell me anything else, which is fortunate because we don't have much else to go off of. We have no concept art really or trailers, so just trust me here. Mitchell's vs. the Machines is in good hands. Then we have Wish Dragon from Sony Animation. Again, no trailer, but we got some concept art and it looks amazing. This is another Chinese-related animated movie, kind of like Raya and the Last Dragon. Seems we're getting a bunch of those this year. It's cool to see Chinese lore and storytelling get more attention. But we live in a world of equal exchange, as in, if we're in the realm of alchemy, you can't gain a life without losing a life. So, of course, that means we're getting Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Sony, stop making this stuff. Like, you're better than this now. Just keep making films like Spider-Verse and leave Peter Rabbit 2 behind you. Let's be better. Let's move on. Oh, we've got Lupin the Third by Toho Animation, which I know I don't talk about anime often, but I'm making an exception here because this trailer looks fantastic. Talk about capturing what makes Lupin so amazing as an anime and bringing it to the big screen in such a different but also similar way. Again, stylized, it's computer animation, but staying faithful to the designs of Lupin. I can never say it right. You got that wonderful theme music. You've got, I believe, a 2020 release date internationally. I hope that's to be seen. I know that the movie came out in Japan already. People loved it. I really want to see this movie get a widespread release across the world. Here's hoping that that is the case. Then we've got Over the Moon by Netflix and Pearl Studio. So yeah, we live in the day and age now where you got these big streaming companies that can make their own movies and shows. And I wholeheartedly accept that. I like that that is the case. We've got some great shows and movies already coming from Amazon Prime. Funny enough, I watched The Boys recently, which isn't animated, but it is credit that these companies can make quality stuff. You got Netflix doing this. I don't know about Hulu at the moment, but it's just good to see original animated content come from streaming sites, that we get a new venue, or is that the right word, venue? Whatever, a new avenue. I don't even know if that's the right word. A new way to get new content. I always accept that. I always like that. More diversity, more stuff in general is typically good for everybody involved. It's diversity. We need diversity. So this movie, Over the Moon, is directed by Glenn Keane. He used to be a character animator for Disney, Little Mermaid, and a bunch of other Disney Renaissance films. This movie is rumored to be a musical adventure about a girl who makes a rocket ship and goes to the moon to meet a moon goddess. That sounds awesome. I'm in. Count me in. I want to see this film. I am interested. It's cool to see it being directed by somebody who is a veteran of the animation industry too. Next, we have Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon, which is made by Aardman Animation, but it's supposed to be released on Netflix. So yeah, this film was released in the UK back in 2019. It has yet to have been released here internationally in 2020, but according to sources, it's getting a release on Netflix. Shaun the Sheep, I've never seen those films before. I've heard great things about them though, that they're charming, that they're fun, so I'll check it out when it comes out. We then have Phineas and FERB the movie. CANDACE, I always screw her name up. CANDACE Against the Universe. Yeah, so Phineas and FERB is coming back. It's getting its own television movie. Well, I say television, it's actually an exclusive for Disney Plus, though it's being made by Disney Television Animation. You all might want to update your name since TV's dying. And yeah, this is just straight up incentive for folks to get Disney Plus, which again, I encourage. I know that these streaming sites aren't perfect, but it's a good start. Again, I want diversity with my content and the content itself and where it's coming from. That's a good way to get innovation going. According to my sources, this is a sequel movie to the 2011 Phineas and Ferb film. That was a lot of alliteration right there. Phineas and Ferb film. There we go, I said it right. Then we've got Bob's Burgers, the movie, by 20th Century Fox, which is now owned by Disney. So yeah, this film, I know that earlier this year, they said that the film was put on hold for release. Then there was another update to that saying that it is going to be released in 2020. I think actually it's getting a full-on like theatrical release, like it's going to be in movie theaters. So, you know, that's cool. I like Bob's Burgers. It's one of the better adult animated sitcoms out there. I know that some of the writers who work on that show worked on King of the Hill, I believe. I need to verify that. But it's a smart show. This is supposed to be a musical. According to one of the producers for Bob's Burgers, they said that this film is to scratch the itch of every Bob's Burgers fan. So cool. Then we've got Extinct by TriStar Pictures. We'll see when it comes out. Then you got Will Boys. I suck at saying names, folks. Will Boys by Braun Studios. It's going to be released in spring of 2020. It's going to be released on Netflix, according to my sources. No trailer for it yet, but the concept art looks pretty great. It's supposed to be based on a children's book called Lois Lowry, I believe. Again, I'm awful at saying names, so forgive me. But all in all, I think this film, again, it's cool to see Netflix take its money, invest it in animation, and hopefully this will be another good result for them. We then have Wolf Walkers by Cartoon Saloon. So Cartoon Saloon is one of my favorite animation studios ever. They did The Secret of Kells. They did Song of the Sea. They have a very unique style about them with their animation, with their designs and their characters, interesting stories that are more, I want to say folklore-y in a way where it's like a fantasy lore-like setting. This movie looks gorgeous. The trailer's out. It is just beautiful. It already gives me big vibes to their past films and how they make them. And both of their old films, their last two films, like, I mean, not last two, but Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea are just top tier animated movies. I have no doubt that Wolf Walkers will be the same, if not better. We then have Crypto Zoo by Dash Shaw. So I don't know much about this one, but my buddy Jim told me about it. He said that it's worth checking out and worth mentioning. The plot premise sounds very bizarre, but interesting. It's about, quote, a zoo that rescues mythical creatures in psychedelic 1960s San Francisco, races the US military to find and save a Baku, a Japanese dream-eating cryptid, to prevent the military from using the Baku to eat the dreams of the counterculture and suppress the anti-Vietnam War movement. A hand-drawn feature animated film. Count me in. All right, that's about it for films. I'm sure I missed some of them. If I did, tell me in the comments, tell me on Twitter. That way I can find out and put it on my list of what to look for. Next, we have cartoons for television and online streaming. By the way, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room here. Online streaming will be the death of television. TV will most likely die this decade. So begins the passing of the baton, and you can thank Disney Plus for that. I have a theory that Disney Plus is the reason why all of these other big companies are now scrambling to make their own streaming sites. When you see one of the biggest companies in the entertainment industry taking charge at a streaming site, you might want to follow suit and not be left in the dust. So I guess we'll see what happens next. That being said, this is an explosive time for animation. It's good to see these streaming sites throw down big money to invest in shows to get the hook into new viewers. It kind of reminds me of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon back in the day when they first were throwing a massive net of quality content to try and get viewers. And that was a good renaissance time for animation. So Hopefully that happens again during the 2020s. So let me just go down this massive list of content coming out from HBOMAX, a new streaming site that is obviously being hosted by HBO. We got Looney Tunes cartoons. I don't know what the official title is for it yet, but yeah, there's a new Looney Tunes cartoon show coming out. I've heard rumors about it. It's supposed to be incredible and top-notch stuff. Then there's Jellystone, which is like a Hanna-Barbera related cartoon. It's supposed to include all of these different Hanna-Barbera characters all interacting with each other. I don't know much about it, so we'll have to see. We've got Tuned Out, which is being done by Robert Zemeckis, the same guy who did Roger Rabbit. It's supposed to be live action hybrid like Roger Rabbit, but with Looney Tune characters instead. So I could have sworn we've done this before. We then have Close Enough by J.G. Quintel, the same guy who made Regular Show. Close Enough was supposed to be released in 2018, 2019. It was put on hold, and now I see why. They wanted to use it to stack up their streaming site for HBO Max, so now it's gonna be on that instead. I like Regular Show. It was about like kids growing up in their 20s. Close Enough seems to be about kids, I say kids, people growing up during their 30s, which is funny enough, you know, that's where I am in life. So I will probably relate to the show quite a lot. We then have Boondocks, which has 24 episodes in total. That's a lot, and I'm totally okay with that. I love old school Boondocks. I know that they did that season that people did not like. Hopefully these episodes won't be like that. I know that the grandpa recently, the grandpa for Boondocks died, rest in peace, but fortunately he was able to record his lines beforehand. Hopefully these episodes will do him justice, because he is a great character. Grandpa is probably the best character in Boondocks. Well, outside of Uncle Ruckus. We then have Adventure Time, Distant Lands. Despite the show ending last year, we've got 4 TV movies apparently coming out in 2020 that's about Adventure Time. Well, I say TV movies, they're hour-long specials, which is, you know, close enough. Close enough in the sense of, you know what I'm getting at. And yeah, I look forward to seeing this. It's gonna be cool to see what they do after the finale. It might be kind of an epilogue-like show, so let's see what happens. And then finally, we have Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai. I think I'm saying that right. Warner Media streaming exclusive, supposed to be a prequel to the first movie and tells Gizmo's story. And that's all I know. There's really no trailer or concept art. I hope it's good, because Gremlins 1 and 2 are amazing. All right, then we got Cartoon Network. They've got something called Tig and Seek. I don't know if this will be on the cable channel, if it will be on HBO Max. I don't know. It looks okay. We got Infinity Train Book 2 currently airing on TV. Haven't seen it yet. I like the first Infinity Train. It's cool that they're making it into an anthology series. I hope that they keep doing this. It's a really cool, bold take on doing a show with its story. I encourage this kind of creative diversity with its story, so we'll see what happens. I keep saying that, we'll see what happens. I guess when it comes to prediction video, that's a common theme to say. We'll see what happens. And then we got Steven Universe Future, which is also currently airing. I've actually seen, I'm up to date on it. I like it so far. It's kind of an epilogue to like the conclusion of Steven Universe, because the series itself, the original series is, as far as I know, if I'm correct, it's complete. That story is done. Now we're talking about Steven Universe and his friends in the future. That's why they call it Future. He's 16 years old now, taking on new challenges of a post-Crystal Gem Empire like rule. I like it so far. It seems cool. I like what they're doing so far with it, in the sense of like this post-war setting for Steven Universe and the struggles he's going through. All I can say though about it is it felt like the conclusion that happened for the series last year was very fast. When it aired and I saw it, I was like, wait, is that it? Is the show over? Are we done here? But then it's like, nope, we're not done. We've got this epilogue series, so okay, go figure. It's different. I'm kind of confused on how Steven Universe does its thing at times. Then we have Thundercats Roar, which I saw the premiere for it. I even did a little mini video on it on my second channel. Yeah, a lot of folks don't like this one. It gets that Cal Arts, word thrown on it, where it's quirky, fast-paced humor, not like the original show or that reboot of the show that happened back a few years ago. This one is a lot more lighthearted and weird and quick-paced. So if you don't like that kind of stuff with your shows, especially on a show that you might hold dear and near to you, then I wouldn't watch Thundercats Roar. If you're okay with them messing with old properties and you're a fan of quick-paced humor, then go check it out. Personally, I think the show is just meh. I'm like, oh, whatever. I saw it. It was okay. It's not like great. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's, oh, okay. It exists. And for the final thing for Cartoon Network, we're getting a We Bare Bears spinoff show and a TV movie. So We Bare Bears is great. It's a nice, comfy, cozy show. I look forward to seeing what they do with it. And then we have Adult Swim with part 2 of Primal, which was like one of my favorite cartoons from last year, if not one of my favorite cartoons ever made. It's made by Genndy Tartakovsky, the guy who did Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack. This show is art, it's beautiful, it's about cavemen and dinosaurs. It has no dialogue. I adore this show. It is fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it, and I cannot wait for part 2. And then we have Disney with their television series and streaming service. We got The Owl House right now that's currently airing. It's made by Dana Terrace. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. Dana Terrace, I believe. She worked on Gravity Falls. She's now creating this show. It's like Harry Potter meets Star Versus meets Gravity Falls. Good energy, looks pretty. I like the colors and designs. Good comedy. It's not too much. It's not too quirky, which is appreciated. I like the setting of this series. I think I'm going to love this one. We've got a Chip and Dale reboot. Nothing really solid to go off of with this one at the moment, but supposed to be on the way. We got Monsters at Work, which has the return of John Goodman and Billy Crystal as Mike and Sully. So we'll see what comes of that. Sounds like it's kind of a high-profile, expensive series from Pixar and Disney to, again, build incentive for Disney+. And then there's supposed to be a Proud Family revival for Disney+. Apparently, it's supposed to be released in February, but I have nothing to go off of as far as like concept art, trailers, teasers. You've got like the voice of Sugar Mama, let's say it right, Sugar Mama, who's like, you ain't seen the last of Sugar Mama. And then I think one of the show creators said like, yeah, we're coming back to Disney+. So I guess that remains to be seen. Then we've got Hasbro with Pony Life, because My Little Pony ended its 9-year run last year with a wonderful finale. I say that unironically. It was good. Now it's coming back as a chibi style. This trailer for it's so wacky. You've got like these chibi ponies saying, feeling good as hell, which is like, well, these ponies are saying hell. It just feels so alien to me. What a interesting choice. I don't know how I feel about this. It might be good. I know it won't be the same caliber of storytelling as G4 MLP. It might just be more slice of life goofiness. And I'm okay with that because the last series ended on a strong note. It can be different and silly this time around just to try a different direction. We'll see. It also might be just god-awful. And then we have Netflix, who's been strutting their stuff for the last few years with animated content, both with movies and TV shows. We've got a Cuphead show, which if it's anything like the game, then it's going to be god tier. We get the BoJack Horseman finale, which I'm terrified to see what happens to him. I'm legitimately scared for him. It should be airing here soon. We have Wizards Tales of Arcadia, which, if I'm correct here, this is like part 3 of the Troll Hunters trilogy, where there was like 2 from before, and now this is part 3, I believe. It's being done by DreamWorks Animation, which DreamWorks has been partnered up with Netflix for a while now. You got Del Toro's name on this as well. I haven't seen any of the Troll Hunters series, so I can't really say much about it, but I'll have to check it out. Looks competent. We've got Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous by Amblin. Computer animation, guys. That looks a lot like Blue from the movie, though nothing's really jumping out to me. I don't know. I was kind of hoping more for a cartoony stylized approach, but this seems pretty serious to me. I guess we'll see what happens. I just hope that they include the Mosasaurus or Mosasaurus, the Mosasaurus that's as big as a battleship, and that it will eat like 30 people off of the beach. Then we have Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast. This is a 2D animated show, as in like not computer animation. DreamWorks Animation doing this. It's about a girl exploring a post-apocalyptic world, which I'm a huge fan of Mad Max and Fallout. So that kind of premise is always fun to me. We'll see if they can back it up. And then we've got Warner and Amblin, as I can't say it correctly. They are doing an Animaniacs reboot. So this show has some massive shoes to fill because the original Animaniacs was God's tier fantastic. Sharp writing, great animation. It's going to be hard to recreate that, but it sounds like they've got momentum in their corner. Most of the voice actors who are part of the original Animaniacs have returned to do another version of it. According to sources, the animation is supposed to be up to snuff to the previous show. I think that if they can recreate what they captured last time, then this show might be one of the best cartoons of 2020. So I guess we'll have to have our fingers crossed here, because I really want an updated version of Animaniacs, but in the same quality of what it once was. I also want Freakazoid 2, because that show is like a G-rated version of Deadpool, and it's so much fun. I know this next one is anime, but I want to talk about it for reasons. We got BNA from Studio Trigger. Studio Trigger did Promare recently. They did Kill la Kill in the past. Great studio, high quality, wonderful visuals with lots of energy and action, super fluid. And all we have right now for BNA is the poster art, but I love it. These colors, the setting. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love, not because of why you think I am, but also because of that. And it looks great. I can't wait to see this. All right, Nickelodeon, you blew it last decade. What do you have this time around? Camp Coral. No. Okay, well, no confirmation on this 100% yet for this year. We might find out more after the SpongeBob movie. It's supposed to be a prequel to SpongeBob. I'm holding my breath. We have Glitch Techs, which will air on Netflix, though it was supposed to be done for Nickelodeon. It was done by Nickelodeon. It was delayed from 2019 to this year. There was a bit of a confusion of why it was being put on hold. There were even rumors of the show being canceled and scrapped, but it's still got a pulse. It's supposed to come out this year. I'm hopeful for it. I like the designs. I like the colors. Let's see what happens. We've got a Wonder Park series. Oh, Lord. Good luck following the disaster that was your movie with an uncredited director. That is insanity. I don't see this show lasting more than one season. And then we have Adventures of Paddington by Studio Canal, but it will be on Nickelodeon. It looks meh to me. I don't see anything really special, but I also thought the same thing about the Paddington movies, but those proved me wrong. They were incredibly good, so it's earned my trust, so I will check it out. And finally, folks, we have our independent projects. I always root for the underdogs and creators who forego the path of big studios and instead opt out for smaller, passionate groups of artists. As in, they go out and they make their own team. They don't have the funding or backing of Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or Netflix. They're doing it on their own, which is a lot riskier, but it gives them a lot more freedom. And it's always good to support teams like that. So if I can do that, I will. So here we go. We've got the Long Gone Gulch pilot that is supposed to come out in 2020. Fingers crossed. I know that the folks behind this have made major strides in getting this done. I went to a convention last year where they actually had like 5 minutes of footage of what they've completed, and it looks great. I love the setting. It's the Wild West, but kind of a fantasy Wild West setting, which is different. And I love spaghetti westerns. So here's hoping that this show does well, that the pilot can get picked up by Netflix or another company. It gives me big time Cartoon Network, Cartoon Friday vibes. And yeah, I hope that this one goes the distance because it has great energy, a great visual feel to it, and I think I'm gonna fall in love with these characters. And then finally, we've got Critical Role, The Legend of Vox Machina. It might be Machina, but I don't want to say it wrong. I probably am. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't know much about this one, but a lot of my viewers told me to mention this. So I looked into it. It's from the folks of Critical Role. They do the D&D campaigns. They do their streams of their campaigns. I believe, if I'm correct, this is supposed to be based on one of their campaigns, like the animated project. This show has a lot of support, like Critical Role in general. It was one of the biggest projects ever crowdsourced on Kickstarter, that they met like all of their goals 10 times over in like one day, which is fantastic. And I think they've got Titmouse, the guys who do stuff on Adult Swim, working on this as well. And if I'm correct, Amazon gave them an offer to greenlight their show, and that after their pilot, they're supposed to get a series on Amazon. So there's a lot going on with this, if my sources are correct. And I hope that is the case. I hope that this show goes a distance. I'm always a big fan of things coming from the internet because it's a lot more organic and pure compared to corporations who are a bit more cold and ruthless and calculated. The Critical Role's got passion. They've got a massive fan base of also passionate viewers and supporters. Fingers crossed that this one can be a slam dunk and succeed and inspire other folks to keep pursuing their own independent projects, and that it can be done. So that is it for my list. I'm sure that I missed some things, and if I did, post them in the comments, let me know. Share your thoughts about what you all are excited about this year for animated movies and shows. Here's to 2020. Hope it's another good year for animation, and we'll see what happens next. But before I go, I want to give a shout out to our video sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering many topics. This includes animation, illustration, creative writing, and much more. It's the perfect place for the creative and curious type, and serves as an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. Skillshare classes include a combination of video lessons and class projects, and is a great way to fit your skill level and schedule. With a premium membership, you get unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts from various fields, and at a very affordable price. It's a fantastic way to learn and sharpen your skills without having to spend tons of money. Heck, an annual subscription is less than $10 a month, and it's super accessible too. Now, a lot of my viewers ask me about animation and where they can start with it. I recommend Animation for Illustration, adding movement with Procreate and Photoshop by Libby Vanderploeg. This is a very informative and detailed class that can give you a solid rundown about animation and how you can utilize it by using Photoshop and Procreate. It's a great starting point for those who are looking to get their feet wet. So click the link in the description to explore your creativity and get 2 free months of premium membership. Make 2020 the year where you explore new skills and cultivate your creative passions. Get your start on Skillshare today.